Well, hello everybody again. We're back after my game crashed because unfortunately Codemasters doesn't know how to make a game properly with the stable servers. So unfortunately my game crashed, and that meant that the previous stream ended. But we're back now for the race. The grid is what we would have seen at least in the last race, or in the quali previous. But unfortunately, we didn't see that. I watched it because one of the drivers I happen to live with, so I just ended up trying to watch it in his room. But unfortunately, I couldn't get back into the lobby, and the session no longer existed. This is a new lobby, but because of the new regulations as well, and the new qualifying rules and race rules, as the Q2 rule for tires was abolished, so you no longer have to start on the same tire that you qualified in Q2 with, or in the short qualifying with. So now it doesn't really matter if there is a new lobby, because everybody has fresh tires. They can either start on the softs, medium, or hards, completely fresh, depending if they have a new set of softs available. Then it will be fresh. But right now we're just waiting for the race to get underway. It should be underway in about 10 seconds or so. And here we go, the formation lap is about to take off telemetry lap there. No, we don't need track map, we will want tire. Let's see, now let's have a look at what everybody is starting on. So it looks like the majority of people are starting on the mediums, just because they want that flexibility, because if a safety car comes out while you're on the hard, it's not really a great thing, because then the medium runners can just pit, or the soft runners can just pit and not end up behind, and you'll be a pit stop behind. But let's run through the grids. We have Marios, who did an astounding, I think it was a 22.9 in qualifying. So, excuse my language, a flipping amazing lap from him. McLeod in second, George in third. Chabi in eighth was provisionally third, I believe, but he did get a 5-second grid place penalty for blocking another driver, which the game did give him automatically for blocking another driver during their lap. So that is why he's in eighth instead of third, but you guys wouldn't have seen that. Hike the Bullet is in fourth, with Bombastic in fifth, Lumi behind him, D-Nike in seventh, Chabi in eighth, Krusty Nation in ninth, David in 10th, Nagi in 11th, NLR Liam in 12th, Yona in 13th, Alan in 14th, Psycho in 15th, 16th is Walcott, Rolano in 17th, Euro, Chris, and Sway Ross 18th and 19th, and Jay Argon in 20th on the hards. So we're going to make this this old strategy work compared to everybody else on the mediums. Was Hike the Bullet was disqualified from the session with Nagy. I'm a bit confused because Nagy was in 11th, so I don't know how he caught up to Hike the Bullet in 4th, but that happens. I don't know what the story is there. These guys are waiting to line up on their grid spot now. There we go, McLeod's lined up, George is lined up, we're about to... Oh, and it looks like George has overshot his grid spot. Let's take off the HUD. I'm waiting for the 5 lights to go out, waiting for the game to finally load, and then we can be underway. And one of the drivers forgot to put us up. That's very unfortunate. Lumi will have a hard time with that, as he forgot to put us up. Don't know what we're waiting for now. I think a driver may just be lagging. Give me 1 second, folks. And for hopefully the last time, the races will be underway. So welcome back. Unfortunately, I had to leave the last session, and I think everybody had to leave because I think the formation lap was glitched or something like that to do with the game. Right now, I'm not in the mood to restart another time, but I'll just say for the race, and hopefully it goes well. But yeah, just waiting for the lobby to start again. Just have to check the stream. Can you hear me? Very good. Just waiting for players now. We should be all set to get underway. And finally we have the 30-second countdown, so for the third time. Okay. I'm gonna be straight up here. If this lobby glitches once again, then unfortunately this race will be cancelled because don't think anybody wants to sit through that, and neither do I, because as much as I'm committed to hosting, it's not fair on myself or the drivers to have to get through this. So they're just gonna get started right now. Oh, and the sound is glitching. Lights are out, and away we go. There we go. I think Mario's got a little bit of wheel spin, but I don't think McLeod is going to be in position to challenge him into turn one. I think he might have been passed by the other McLaren. The two McLarens go swooping into turn one. There's a bit of contact further down the field. There's someone spinning. That's George Tava. McLeod's into second, past George Tava. I think George Tava spun on the exit. Same with Chubby. Chubby spun. George. They're the only two people who have spun and lost out. Everybody else has managed to make their way through cleanly. I don't see any damage anywhere. Liam is... I think there was a Mercedes getting caught up with the Ferrari, but it looks like Lumi's into P4 there. Gaiten has been passed by Lumi. He's in the slipstream. Who's behind him? Is bombastic right behind him. Look at the cars behind. They're all in a pack now, going three wide. There's two sets of cars that are going three wide. There's a massive collision as Krusty Nation just absolutely turns in on the Mercedes. He has no vision whatsoever. I think he needs to go to Specsavers. He completely forgot his glasses there. You didn't see the Mercedes on the inside. As NNR Liam trying to come back at the Mercedes. There's no overtake button on. Is he going to go for the inside? No, he's going to dart around the outside. Brakes earlier. Tries to get a switch back on David, but David has it covered. And Krusty Nation absolutely loses the car on the exit. Revs up the rear tires too much, and he's spun, and he's down the order now. Chubby's past him, so he's that far down. McLeod now needs to try and get back in that DRS and Maris Formula, otherwise I don't think he'll be able to contend for this win unless there's a safety car later on. We see Nagana in 10th. Behind him, Yona is trying to close the gap and trying to make that move. It's 3/10 now. Smacks the curb a little, goes out wide. Yona, we'll have a chat about that later, don't worry. I hope you got a warning for that. This way was get passed by Chris. What's happened to Chris? Look, man, I think I'm doing something. Oh, who is that with the big sentence? Jay Argon absolutely sent it on Rolano. Beautiful move, but Rolano's gonna come back at him now. Gets the better drive because Jay sent it. And Psycho's also gone past Jay. I wonder what wing Psycho's running. Looks like he's running 0-0. And Rolano very healthy on the brakes there. Ooh, Jay goes for the inside. A bit of not a lot of space there, but here's a chicane. It's a slow speed corner, so it can work. Lanciona, I think he's lost the position to Alan. He has lost the position to Alan. He's going to go try around the outside of Alan. It'd be amazing if he pulls this off. He loses the car a little. Ooh, and that was nearly disastrous as Alan nearly puts it into the wall there. And I think that's Sway Ross round, and he is round. He's lost his front wing. I think that was both Hasses colliding, maybe. And that is, I think that is a virtual safety car, or is it just a yellow flag the whole track? That isn't a virtual safety car. They're going full speed, or Well, I think it is a virtual safety car. Well, I'm not being told that it's a virtual safety car on the top left. What I'm seeing is a yellow flag in all sectors. And you're in a pits now. He's pitting. Oh, he's going for softs. So I guess he's going to try and make his way through the grid as fast as possible. Unless he accidentally clicked the softs, then I'm not sure what he's going to do there. Virtual safety car should be ending hopefully any time now. We can get back to racing conditions. As we've heard Martin Brundle or Crofty say several times, drivers must decrease their speed by 40% to adhere to the speed limit of the virtual safety car. And it's green flags, away we go. Lumi has fallen out of the DRS of D9, but I'm sure no problem he'll be able to get back into that. Undoubtedly so. It's Chris and Geitebolle right behind Lumi, and then Chris right behind Geitebolle. Chris is trying to find a way past. He's urging himself past. He's not exactly pushing him around, but looks like they're a bit. Oh, and the Gaitan's looking to make a move on Lumi now. Nearly ran into the back of him, but it's fine. He controls the brakes very nicely. The sound on board the car is absolutely horrendous, but let's move on. Sharpie's into the pits now. Now Marius Formula is completely, nearly 2.5 seconds down the road to McLeod, so McLeod needs to get a move on here. Could do something with the strategy, but Geitebolle will have DRS now on Lumi. Let's see how quickly he can make this move, or how quickly he can get this move done. Lumi's defending the inside from both Geitebolle and Chris here, or Bombastic. Chris is trying to go around the outside, gets the inside for the next corner, but Lumi's going to have a better exit, and there is a safety car, and I think that was because Sway Ross has actually, who's out? I think, never mind, I think Chris, I hope we can see that because there's a Haas on the road, and I hope that Haas hasn't just retired from the session on track, because that's very unsportsmanlike. And Chubby's on the inters. Strange to see. I'm sure we're going to see some action in the pit lane now. Yep, and Marius Formula pits, the same with McLeod. I'm sure D9 stays out, he wants to track position. Geitebolle also stays out. Lumi and Bombastic are in. David is staying out. Liam is in. Technically, Marius Formula is the net leader, or at least those who have pitted. He is the net leader because he's in front of everybody. So those who still need to pit will come up behind him, but I'd imagine they'd have much fresher tires than everybody else. Now D9 takes control of the race. I think the mediums are obviously still faster at this point, so I'd imagine the top four should be able to get away from Nagy and Marius Formula, so to speak. But we could see Marius Formula's pace just absolutely demolish those in front of him. But as the rest of the field piles up now. The warming tires is crucial though, especially in this year's regulations. Tires are much harder to warm up, especially with the low profile 18-inch rims and low profile tires. And now let's have a rundown of everybody who's pitted. So the top 6 haven't pitted, and DNAG has a penalty for good measure. Marius Formula is pitted, Rolano hasn't. Same with Krusty Nation and Chris and J Argon. Everybody else has either pitted once or twice. I would assume those who have pitted obviously have the advantage as of this point, because when the leaders or when the front runners do end up pitting, they will be a pit stop behind and have to make that back. It was a no-brainer to pit. So unfortunately, I don't know if the drivers in front realize this, but they put themselves on their back foot. Really, they have to step it up. Hopefully safety car will be in this lap. Child be at the back. You see him, the Ferrari should be making his way back up to behind Yona. He's in 18th. Fortunately, we have one DNF. That was Sway. I believe that's what brought out the safety car. Unfortunately, I didn't see the crash as we were focused on the battle with Lumi and Bombastic. But it looks like, I think safety car will be in this lap. Who's spun? Bjorn hasn't spun it there. Well, Chubby's now been promoted to 18th. Let's see, as I believe safety car will be in this lap. Everybody's caught back up. Everybody's ready to go racing, and there we go. Safety car in this lap at the end of Sector 2. Now, well, my sound is glitching. For me, at least. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but fortunately, we don't like sound glitches. It hurts. But DNAG's waiting for the perfect moment to go. Hopefully looking to get Haitable on the back foot. Let's put the track map back on just to see when the safety car is into the pits, so we can see when DNAG might be on his way. The safety car is in now. DNAG should be going at any moment. Yeah, and it looks like he's going. He's taking a wide exit, but I can see it coming. Oh, and that engine sound is horrible. Someone's been caught on the back foot. I believe that's Nagy with... Oh no, I think that's Walker with Nagy behind him, or it's David with Walker behind him, caught napping. Alan is right on the back of Walker on 6-lap-old mediums versus 6-lap-old hards. I believe the mediums should be faster. I haven't done a lot of running, but looks like he's going to go for the move. Breaking a bit late, made a bit of contact. He completely misses apex, but this wasn't a social race. And that was actual league race, and that was reported maybe, I don't know, we'll get some sort of warning, but Nike now is getting passed by Alan. And Alan almost runs into the back of Walker. It's allowing Nagy to come back at him for the position, leaving each other enough space. Alan still on the back of him. I think Hayton has made the move on David. David's going to come back at him into the new part of the track here. I think it's turn 9, as I said in a previous quali, I think it was. Has he made the move? I don't see it. I think Hayton has stayed ahead. Is Chris going to try it around or down the inside here? This is a late braking zone. He is not going to try it. DNAG is waiting to pick up the pieces here, but not able to make it work. Now Marius goes a little bit wide outside of Rolando to take 7th position from him, and then McLeod goes for the position. I thought McLeod spun there, but he hasn't. Cross Nation goes back at McLeod now, and he takes the position down the inside. Is McLeod going to go down the inside there? He is down the inside. He forces Cross Nation out wide. Watch this battle from Lumi's perspective. He's going to try to go around the outside of Crossy Nation there. He tries to go around the outside, but it doesn't make it work, unfortunately. There was not enough space, at least from that perspective there, as J Argon completely shoves Lumi out wide there. Not a great display of racing room. And it's very unfortunate to see, but back to the race we go. J Argon is coming back at Lumi. Look at the straight line speed J Argon has without using any ERS. He's ahead, or they are ahead of Lumi. Into the chicane he goes. I think something's happened with Lumi. I think he's nearly spun on the exit, which is very unfortunate. And Lumi is down into last position at the moment. Psycho is going for a move. No, he isn't. He's getting passed actually by Yona, and I think it was by Chris as well. Lots of moves going on up ahead. I think that was Bombastic getting past Crestination. Is Crestination going to try and go for the inside? He's not. He thinks better of it. Move this car. Who's that? That was Rolando, who is spun around now, and looks like he's going to drop to last place. There we go. He's in last place. Let's see. Marius Formula is right on the tail of Alan. Dives it down the inside. This is McLeod's chance to go. Alan with a late defensive move there. He just taps McLeod. That was not on. Really late defensive move there. He needs to make the move before McLeod moves himself to go for the outside line. And who's that? That's Rolando. Where's Rolando retired? I think that might be in the pits. It is in the pits. Chubby with a 3-second time penalty. He's not happy at all, down in 12th. Let's see, David has DRS here, does he? He does have DRS. DRS has been enabled this lap. He's going to go around the outside. Let's see if he can make this move stick. Height and brake that much later, just keep the move. But I think David's going to go for the switchback here. He's going to have a better exit with DRS as well. He might be able to pull this move up before the corner and hopefully be able to keep the position afterwards. Haitamol is showing a brilliant display of defensive ability here. He's putting his car in just the right position. Is David? No, he's not going to dive down the inside. Through sector 3 we go now. Very tough and technical part of the track. Very reliant on mechanical grip here. So once the tires get old, they're going to struggle a lot. And considering those hard runners who pitted under the safety car not that far behind, I think they're going to be struggling soon. Now Bombastic, the man has been making a lot of moves already. Right on the back of Nagy. 4-lap old difference between our hards, so Bombastic does have the advantage here. Chris is retired from session. He's speaking to the pit lane and he's left the session. Unfortunately, these guys are not willing to stick it out when it gets tough, which is unfortunately not great to see. But let's see now. I think David is again going to go for a move on Haitabole for the lead. He's going to go all the way to the inside. Yeah, and he comes back just to the racing line a little. They gave each other good enough room. Haitabole really sends it into that corner. But I think David is going to get DRS here. That's going to give him the advantage to be able to keep that position. But something's going on with Haitabole. I think he really messed up on the exit. I think he had a loss of traction. He's lost 4 positions in the space of 1 sector and a bit. There's 5 positions now. McLeod is down his inside. McLeod is going to go try around the outside of Marius Formula, but he's not going to go for it actually. So that was kind of a half-hearted move. I think he's just to put Marius off. And McLeod goes wide. Does this give the Haitabole the chance? No, it doesn't. He gets perfect exit to be able to keep that 5th position as Haitabole now goes into the pits for his stop. So that he needed to pit again, and he does make his stop right now. David, Walker and Dinak and Nagy stay out for another lap. Procrastination on the back of Allen with IRS Chabi hunting them down. Chabi, another very rapid driver. He's gonna look for the outside of Crossy Nation. I wonder if he's gonna go for the inside last minute. He's not. Oh, he taps Crossy Nation. I don't know if that was just on my screen or maybe it was a bit of desync from the game's end because I'm in spectator mode. But he did tap Crossy Nation. Didn't make the move stick though. Walcott now battling with Marius Formula. Marius Formula flashing. Walker with 50% battery. Marius Formula really looking to make these moves happen. He needs to get away because the next person who's a threat to him at the moment is McLeod, who's behind Walker in DRS range. Let's see if Nagy can make this move on D-Nike here with Bombastic right behind him. Again, looking to pick up the pieces from this battle. Now when a grid is this close, patience is a virtue because you don't want to rush into things and ruin your own race. Otherwise, it will just go spiraling downhill from there. Aitambola now has it's a big gap to gain, and who was that? I think that was Chris and Nagy had contact there, but I didn't catch what happened, unfortunately, even though I was expecting Chris. Looks like Chris is getting away well from Nagy there. Is there anybody else close? And it looks like Marius Foreman is right on the tail of David. He really wants to make this move. I think the mediums are dropping heavily now. DRS enabled. He should be able to make this move pretty easily now. He goes for the inside, and then imagine he's going to get tucked back into the racing line. Yep, he does. Let's take off the tires for now, just for more room to work with. See those who do have penalties, so Marius and McLeod without a penalty right now. And Marius looking to extend that gap. McLeod needs to get past David as soon as he can, because he doesn't want to waste his tires or any amount of lap time behind David, because David on those old mediums is going to hold him up by a significant amount. David goes into the pits, so McLeod just under or just over a second gone. Needs to look to try and get back in that DRS, because they both have penalties, so they have to win this on track as of this moment if McLeod wants to win. Bombastic's still looking to make up positions here. He's gone from, I think, outside the top 10 into 4th at the moment. He's going to look to make the move on Walcott down the inside into this newly formed hairpin. A much bigger improvement. I think he will get DRS, but Walcott with that straight line speed advantage without DRS and with just slipstream, he is pulling alongside Bombastic, and he's able to reclaim the position. Although he's far to the inside, Chris is looking to get a switchback on him, and he does. Both Williams going at it. Chris using some ERS now to get past Walker, but Walker with that superior straight line speed, which is amazing to see. Let's have a look at Yona if he can try and make or force Chubby into any sort of error. We saw Chubby have a little bit of a wiggle. Nothing happening so far. I think there's Walker going into the pits. Yes, he is. Now let's have a look at the tyre situation. So the people still yet to pit. It looks like Alan and Nagy, those are still yet to pit. Walker has just dived into the pit, so we'll have fresh tyres now. But we'll have to make up a pit stop distance, like I said before. So it's when the safety car comes out and not pitting, it's sort of a win-lose if you go for track position, because yeah, you have track position, but you're pissed off behind effectively after you pit, because everybody else is pitted on the safety car and they're right behind you again. So it's really, you just lose out in the end. Although you gain track position, you lose out in the end majorly to those who have pitted. It looks like Nagy's staying on. He's going to go for the mediums at the end of the race. I think he'll pit in about 3 or 4 laps time. But nobody's that close to each other. People are starting to fade away a little. And I didn't see that, and unfortunately I'm mad at myself now. Because McLeod just got past Mario, so looks like he go back into the second DRS detection zone. And he's past Marius. I think it's aluminium going in for the pits, yes it is. Chabi really wants to make this move down on Nike. Like on 14 lap old hards with Chabi behind him. That Ferrari screeching with the sound of this not so well developed game. That was that Lumi spinning? Unfortunately, he has spun and he's lost a few positions there. But he's on the back of Walker within a second, so I think he will get DRS to be able to put the moves on him. As we see Chabi trying to go around the outside of Nagy, and he makes the move work here. Brilliant move with the help of DRS. It was inevitable that that was coming. Oh, and Yona has spun himself and he's lost his wing. I wonder where he's done that. It's probably out of the chicane, I would assume. Well, that's not really a sight you want to see, a car without a front wing, as most likely means that they're going to have a lot of trouble coming back into the race. Yep, and into the pits he goes, obviously. Right, and he's retired. Looks like McLeod is really putting the pace on Marius Homer there. He's really pushing him into using ERS. If you see them, Marius doesn't have as much as McLeod does. I think McLeod has about 10-15% more ERS than Marius Formula. It's a big advantage considering that it's very hard to regain ERS. So if you can manage it properly, then you're looking to be in a very good position. David's gonna go for is he gonna go for a move on Khatamala? No, these two still back at it. We saw them when they were provisionally P1 and P2. They were fighting themselves. David with about 20% more ERS than Khatamala, as Khatamala is flashing. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Look at the track map. Who is that? Is that Nagy? That is Nagy. And unfortunately, this comes at the time he was going to pit, and yep, he doesn't go to the pits, but yeah, he gets out the way nicely for Khaita and David, which is a smart thing to do there. These guys not really giving each other an inch of comfort. They want to make up positions as quickly as possible. Psycho's gonna go for the move on Liam. Here we go down the inside. I think Liam will yield this and want to get the switch back on Psycho and gets DRS for the next straight. Let's see if he can go back for the move. I don't think he will want to. He's not using overtake. He's not going for the move. Looks like Khaitabola and David are going side by side here. Khaitabola will get DRS, it looks like, using his every last bit of overtake. He has 0% left, and David still has over 20%. Khaitabola is going to try around the outside. David sticking to his line on the inside, and David cuts him off nicely, not allowing Khaitabola to go for the run. And Khaitabola fakes the move on the inside to put David off his line, which doesn't work. David doesn't falter. He stays on the racing line and brakes correctly. Another yellow flag. Who is that? I think that's NLR Liam, and that's a virtual safety car. Oh, and who got a drive-through? I think it was Alan Liam. He did get a drive-through. He was speeding under the safety car, or under the virtual safety car, so he wasn't adhering to the delta. Well, time. Hartable is right on the back of David once again. Going for the inside move. We'll see if David uses position to go for the switchback. It looks like he does. Getting much better exit than Hartable. He's going to be in the prime position to make a move here. Does Hartable have any ERS? He has 15%, whereas David has 35, I believe that is. Let's look. It is 35. We're going to go for the inside line. Once again, Hartable trying to stick it around the outside. Oh, and David nearly loses. He gets a massive snap. And now is that going to cost him position to DNAC? DNAC is on the hunt. But no, he manages to correct it in such a way he does not lose that amount of time. Or that much amount of time to David. So it looks like he hasn't lost out too much. He's still behind Hartable within 0.3 of a second. So he's in the prime position to take that spot back from Hartable as Liam pits after hitting his front wing, causing the virtual safety car. I believe that is why he's pitting again. And now McLeod has broken out of that 1 second mark for DRS to Marius Formula. Marius Formula needs to put on the jet boosters to be able to catch McLeod. McLeod looks like he wants this badly, and I don't blame him. I would. It's still a social race, but you know the bragging rights are everything. And let's see now a three-way battle for P7. Hartable on the defensive. It goes ultra defensive to defend from DNAC. And DNAC going around the outside of Hartable. Ooh, I believe DNAC thought that he squeezed Hartable a little bit to the inside, and so he backed out of his continuous steering motion to the left, and that caused him to go wide. I think that's the explanation for that as to why DNAC suddenly went off to the right. We have still a battle for P7. Hartable continuously recharging, whereas David's on 25% and DNAC is on 35%. Let's see if Hartable can have another run at David. Looks like he's going to be too far away for this straight, but after the chicane, I think he's going to be in prime position to try and go for an overtake, even though he has no ERS. Constellation go down the inside of Walcott, but I think that's just because Walcott might have spun it. Oh, look at this. Hartable around the back of David. David gets a massive snap of oversteer. Has to correct massively, but looks like David has a straight line speed to try and stay ahead of Hartable here. And more ERS as well. Hartable is going to dart around the outside. He's going to hold his line. David's going to push him out wide, which is not what you want to see. And Hartable gets a penalty as a result. David with some extremely tough racing there. Shoves Hartable out wide. It doesn't allow Hartable to get the run on the outside, which would have turned to the inside for the next sequence of corners. I think DNAC spun and he was behind him, but no longer is now. McLeod with a 2-second gap now to Marius Formula. Looks like, I don't want to jinx anything, but it looks like it's so wrapped up. Without a safety car, Marius has to push very hard, but in doing so, McLeod can just maintain that gap by pushing whatever Marius does. Now NLR Liam is in front of Walker, and unfortunately Walker has spun and I believe that is his front wing gone. And that is a safety car, so I did jinx it for McLeod. I did say, unless there is a safety car, or unless I said it in my head, but there is a safety car now, caused by Walcott losing his front wing on the start finish. That's a beautiful sound of the safety car I just heard. And now McLeod has his work cut out for him. I wonder if he'll dive into the pits. If I was him, I would dive into the pits for another set of mediums maybe. The softs died off way too fast. McLeod, a 3-second time penalty for that. I'm pretty sure we did not just see him leave the track. That's absurd. Yeah, well, this game is unfortunately full of bugs at the moment. Desyncs in other leagues with other major drivers. Lots and lots of issues at the moment. Hopefully a patch will come out soon enough, which we have heard of another patch coming out very, very soon. Hopefully before the actual league racing season starts, as that would be prime time, and then we can actually get racing underway properly. With the safety car now out, the field is now closed back up.